So, this is fun. Let's do it. Sorry. I know what I'm saying. Sorry for the wait. I just paused it and then repaused it. I flung my microphone across the room, but never mind. So, I have literally just rewatched it recently because of the whole thing of reviews. Besides the point, this show, both season 1 and season 2, is epic. With the story, with how it's written, it is just insane. And one of the reasons why I like it is because at the same time it has mostly chill storytelling, which is actually what I'm essentially mean by that is it's mostly not really big motions and big story moments. It is a lot of smaller, less moments, right? And one of the things that I think is good because of that is the party, which I think is insane. So yeah. Okay. One of the things I wanted to point out, I didn't point this out in season 2 because I only noticed this on rewatching it. So at the end of season 1, there's this moment of, oh, we need to go and get the dragon done, which is a major thing of like season 2, which is the dragon, trying to deal with it alongside leveling up, etc., etc. There's a lot of like key points throughout this, but one of the things that sort of brings over from season 1 to season 2 is this. And I would say, if there's a season 3, I'm not even going to deny that there's probably going to be a part of the story that deals with the whole thing of, by the way, now we're going to have to deal with the tenant situation. And because he's currently at level 30, I feel like season 3, they're going to get 10 levels pretty decently. So I feel like they're going to have a new tenant. I don't know what they're going to do with that and how it's going to go. I wasn't expecting the first tenant, a level up, would be cakes. Alongside getting other gods involved. But I like, in season 1, you have, we're going to go and deal with the dragon situation, etc., etc., etc. That becomes a big thing. And all of a sudden, you have a sort of small red dragon flying across the screen. Not a whole screen. I feel like it's like that motion across like the upper half cutting roundabout. If you see the upper half, the upper third, and then cut from one point to like 2/3 to the top, it sort of like flies quickly. Guess who's in the next season? Season 2. It's a pixie dragon. Who is red? I don't know if there's any subtle hints of, in the end of season 2, who's going to be part of the party in season 3, but I think that's clever. That small detail of like, oh yeah, this. You also deal with other stuff. Again, the whole thing with the leveling up, I think is insanely interesting because then they can deal with other foods ideas. And I like how he's sort of using it more like with like the when you have someone sort of like who's sort of like dealing with the sort of he's trying to make a grill and he's trying to get someone to get on the project. And at first it's like, no, I can't do this. So being a bit annoyed, and it's like, I make swords for a living, and you ask me to make a grill? Why? And then it's like, well, I have something that you might like. And obviously it's one of the alcoholic drinks from the shop, which I think is just clever. It's like, well, I have something to maybe change your mind. That sort of like use. The other one that I like, which is a moment, is a joke. It's fully a joke, and I love it because they have to defeat a kraken, and they use Sui in the most creative way possible because it's like there's a whole couple of moments through that which I love. Like the whole thing of like you have the Fenrir being like, yes, the big area here. When I was killing the Kraken, I had this position and this. And it's like, Yeah. What if you couldn't see it? It's like, you have a point, but we have a problem. But they're trying to go around getting boats. No one's giving it to them because, legitimately, who gives a boat to? Probably people they even don't know, even if it is a Fenrir, because they're fishermen. Their fish and their boat are their livelihood. Like, if they lose a boat, let's hope you have savings, because you're gonna need it. But there's a certain point where they see Sui, sort of bouncing along the water, so that she has a way to sort of float. They do a fun thing with that, but I love this is the funniest thing when they get back and sit down, being like, "Oh, we defeated these things. Here's all the sea monsters, etc., etc." They sit down and they go to them, being like, "Oh, you didn't have a boat." Yeah, we're killed next to us, next to the sea. Of course we have boats. We would have given you one. And the guy would be like, so all we needed to do was ask. I love how legitimately the idea of a guild that sort of works with adventurers, works with sort of solving these problems by these monsters, having boats, makes sense. It's a logical thing of they have boats because they need boats to go into sea adventurers to make sure people are sort of safe, right? That is a logical thing to do, right? Because you probably don't need to deal with krakens, but there are probably other sea creatures that you have to deal with as adventurers. But at the same time, you're dealing with a pixie dragon and a Fenrir who are mostly seemingly who live in the land area, so they probably didn't go to most, either don't really go to most adventuring places, and don't really go to much of a sea. You deal with one, but you don't deal with them being like dealing with adventuring groups. The only time that you deal with sort of one of the groups dealing with Fenrir is dealing with the sea, is Fenrir's story about him killing a kraken near the sea, which is still a fun idea. But overall, one of the things that is a fun idea is the idea that the party doesn't have a boat. It's exciting, it's fun, it's really interesting. Obviously, Sue is young enough as like, does she know what the sea is? Like, she knows what it is, but she doesn't deal with it. So that none of them, including one that's from another world and doesn't know how the guild really works to a certain extent with sea guilds, being like, oh shoot, they have boats. It's just interesting and makes sense. But yeah, overall, this stuff is insane. It's chill. You deal with recipes. I found a recipe in this season that I want to make hamburger steaks and like pork cutlet. Both of those I'm going to make in my daily life because I feel like those are fun, delicious, and not that hard to make. Overall, some of the stuff in here is insane. Like half the stuff is like, what? Is that's cooking, right? How does that work? But those two I think I can do. But yeah, time for a play this time. Devil Wears Prada. But I hope you enjoy it, I hope you like it, and good night.